Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Fatan Karim, and in this video I want to make an tutorial based on MikroTik is how to use firewall features in MikroTik RouterOS. So before I will start tutorial, I will explain first what is about firewall. Okay, wait. Okay, so firewall it's using like for securing the networks like from the internet and from the local like LAN, and it can be also to use to securing the network from the other routers. And this feature it's on the RouterOS since when it's made, and it can be found in the menu in IP and firewall. And if you want to do the basic features in firewall, you can go to the IP firewall and tap in the filter rules in here. Okay, now we explain the filter rules. So the filter rules is like a basic firewall in RouterOS, and every the rule it will be organization in the inside in the chains, and every chain it can be made and can be read from the router from the up to down. Yeah. Okay, now we explain the change. There's an input, output, and forward. Input input is going to the router, and output is going out from router, and forward it's not it's like pass the router, yeah, passing the router, yeah, to client and just pass. Okay, so by default, there's if you don't add some filter rules and there's no configuration everything, and that means all the traffic that going to the router will be permitted, like even it's secure and even it's not secured. Okay, now firewall principle if then if a condition it's like in the menu general advanced and extra, but then it's like an action that we want what they configure. So in if you can go to the IP firewall filter rules, and you can add configuration in the general tab. You can to choose the what from source address, destination address, and then you can to set from protocol what and what from interface. And the action you can to choose that action that we want from the if principle that we made. So the first you can go to action tab, and there's some action that we can use. The first is upset. So upset it will be accept the package, and the second is add address this destination to address this. So there's add source to address this, and this is short will be add to the addresses there. Drop this is the action to decline the package. Faster connection, this is the alternative feature to boost the speed the traffic data. Jump jump this is the action to jump the change that we made here. And the next action that is lock. So this is lock is action that to make an like nodes or lock in the lock tab. Password is the action to uh, just uh, package uh, permit the package that we going to the router, and will be to read the other rules. And the next is the reject. This is like a drop, but will be have the message like ICMP reject for like a ping. Return will this is the action to return back the package that the action that we made. Tarpit tarpit is the last action, yeah. It's like to open the like for example like shadow port in the router. So it's like the port is activated, but it can be accessed. Okay, so per-query use port. There's some ports can be used or and usually used in the firewall. For example, like uh, 80 TCPs that use HTTP and many more. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna in the lesson. Yeah. So now we're gonna try to protecting our router. So this is going to make we want to make this router can be accessed only the IP what that we added here. Okay, now we're gonna add this one. Okay, so now if you want to show your client IP in your laptop, you can go to the control panel. Okay, in control panel you can go to the view network status and tags. And now because my router is connect via Ethernet, so you can click Ethernet. And now this one you can to see your IPs in here. Okay, if you want to make your laptop it has a static IP, you can go to the properties and you can go to the Internet Protocol version 4. Now you can set here if you still IP if you still choose obtain an IP address automatically, you can use the following address here for make a static. Okay, for example, this is still a blank. Yeah, you can to choose you can to fill IP address. For example, I use 192.168.88.2 because in my interface I use the Ether2. So if you want to check the interface IP, you can go to IP and go to addresses. And now this one I use 88.1, so make sure it's same in here. Wait, where is it? Okay, here it will be same, yeah, 88. It's just only to change the last number, it's just 2. And click the subnet marks for default, and now choose the default gateway to the interface IP like this. Wait, sorry, 88.1. Okay, now we use the following address. For example, I use the code for DNS. So usually we can use the open DNS, like 8.8.8.8. Okay, so you can choose like open DNS for example. And now we click the OK to apply the configuration. And if you apply this one, sometimes the RouterOS will be disconnect. Sometimes this Windows will be disconnect. Okay, now after we configure all this IP, now we're gonna go to firewall. You can go to IP and go to firewall. So this displays to add some filters here. So because in this tutorial we only to configure and filter rules, so we're gonna edit only in filters here. Okay, now if you want to add configuration, you can directly click plus button. In this tutorial, now we're gonna try to apply now we accept the laptop that only the added IP. Okay, now we're gonna go to add an IP for first. We can to because it's input, because this is named in input, the laptop is going to the router, so we now choose the change to input. Yeah, and now we choose the source address. So the source address is the address from the IP client. Yeah, because for example this my laptop, it has IP 88.2, so we set like this 88.2, and after that now we set this chain input and source address. Now if we set this all configuration, now we go to the then action. Let's go into the action. Now we click this action to accept, yeah, to accept this IP. So this is means if there's something IP 88.2 to going enter to this router, you will be give an action to accept. Okay, that's all. Now we're gonna add again for the other IP. So now we're gonna make action. If there's other IP without this IP, it will be rejected. So you can to add again the configuration, and you go to general. Now we keep the change to input, and we keep this short address blank, yeah, like this for example. So that means if all IP going to the router, so what we do, so we can go to actions and select drop. Okay, like this. Okay, now the configuration, it has been applied. So that means if you add this configuration, this is means if some clients going to the router with all of the IP, like any IP that going in the router, it will be get rejected with action drop. Okay, that's for example, yeah, for protecting the router. Okay, now you can to check in here to make sure you can see here, because I enter the client with this IP, so you can see there's many bytes and package here. So this is means when the package and bytes it's rising, that means this rules it's working. Yeah. Okay, now we're doing some lock. So now we make a lock. So every time, uh, okay, so I will explain that first. Sorry. So I will explain first what is a lock. So this is a lock is a feature to for using to showing an information or activation activities in the router. So you can see the lock in this menu, and you can see the lock, yeah, like this. Every event will be put in the log notes, yeah. And actually you can to make an manually add some activity into nodes with the filtered rules with the action log. Okay, so for example, we want to make if someone the client ping into the router, it will be made unlock. So we can add again for the filter rules. Okay, now I will delete this. You can to delete. Okay, now I will make the second example, that is when someone ping into router, it will be made unlock, yeah. So now we choose the change to input. Now because we want to choose our IP, so we keep this search address blank. Okay, we'll replace it. Okay, now we choose a protocol for ping, yeah. It's like ICMP, or you can use protocol 1. Oh, sorry, yeah. Okay, 1. And now we choose the action to the log. Okay, like this. Okay, now after we choose the log, we can to add some log like this. Hey, we don't need to check that. Okay, I mean add some log prefix. Go to now we add, for example, incoming minus ping, for example, and now we click apply. Yeah. Okay, so this means if the some clients going into the router, it will be make an action to make unlock. Okay, for example, I will open terminal in my laptop. This is not great. Okay, I will open terminal again. Okay, this is I want to ping IP in interface, yeah. So example, I want to ping to router like this. Now I will open log, yeah. Okay, now enter. Okay, this is will ping 4 times, yeah. Okay, as you can see, when we ping, it will make some log, yeah, like this. Okay, now we try to ping again. Repeat. So we'll ping for 4 times, and as you can see, it will be have the monodes, yeah, like this, yeah. Okay, so that's all for the log action, for example, yeah. Okay, now we in the next what? Next example, we're gonna try. Wait, the example, yeah. We're gonna try if there's a client ping to the router, it will be go to the drop option, and this is means now we want to make unrules. So if there's anything client ping to the router, it and this is router will be give an action, it will cannot be accessed for 30 seconds. Okay, now we're gonna try to make an firewall rule. Okay, in this one we can to make an filters again, so we can add an configuration. Okay, sorry when I forgot. Okay, now we can go to the change. Now because we want to make an pinger, so we can go to the input. We will be going into router, and we use the protocol that we choose because this is based on the ping. So we go to ICMP, and we choose the input interface for the client who entered this interface. We will be go to to the action. So now in the action tab, now we choose add to the what search to address list, yeah. Okay, wait, sorry, I forgot. Oh yeah, search, I forgot. Okay, now we add this one, so to address list. And now in this one you can to set the name, the address list to the pinger, and now you can also set the timeout for this client. So we can add the address list, for example, pinger. So this is, you can set this pinger, and now you can set the time that we want. For example, we do timeout for 30 seconds, for example, and now we can apply. Okay, I will explain for this rule, yeah. Okay, so I want to explain for this rule. Okay, so if there's anything that clients input to this router with the protocol ICMP, and it with and we go into the ether 2, it will go to action to add search to address list. Okay, and it will be add to this one. Okay, now add the rule again, yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna make again, so we can go to the continue the configuration. You can to add again the configuration, and we choose to the general, to do forward, yeah, yeah, to the forward. And forward, we want to make go to advanced. So when this client in address list as the pinger, so now we do the another action. So we do this, go to pinger, and now we do choose the action to drop. So I will explain again all of these rules. Okay, so the first one, if the clients input to the routers with the protocol ping ICMP in the interface ether2, it will be action to add source to address list, and the address list is pinger for timeout 30 seconds. And when this client it's add to address list to the pinger, it will be drop, it will be drop as the timeout that we added. Okay, now we give an example, so we can do the address list. Okay, I want to make this side by side, yeah, to window. Okay, so we'll open terminal. Okay, so this is for example, yeah, so because I don't have anything. Okay, so let's try. Now we try to ping, yeah, for example. Now we ping to IP in router like this. Now if you ping, as you can see, it will be automatically add to the pinger, yeah. When this addresses is on the pinger address list, it will be cannot access internet for the timeout that we given, that is like, for example, 30 seconds. Okay, and now that's all for the all features that we can use, yeah. Okay, because we only to use an virtual feature, so I think that's all of the example, yeah. Okay, so after the timeout is done, it will be automatically delete, yeah, because this is was the dynamic. Okay, so that's all the configuration, and I think that's all for me. It's how to use a basic to use a firewall in the future rules. And that's all for me, and thanks guys for watching my video, and sorry when I have mistakes. And the last say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.